Welcome to CathyDSlaught's SRC4u Zoom call for November 22nd, 2021. We're here on Cathy's website, CathyDSlaght.com, and we're going to scroll down and look for this Zoom banner to join the Zoom call. But before I do that, if you're interested in the SRC4u Daily Energy Clearing Group, the information is right here to register. Cathy writes a blog. Cathy's current blog post, you would click there. And today's current blog post is on uprooting the damage from our negative reality show. And you can read that at the link I just showed you, which was right here. We're going to scroll back up a little bit, and we're going to click here, which will take us over to the Zoom platform where we'll join the call. So prepare your speakers. We're here on the Zoom banner. We're going to enter the room. Please monitor your speakers. That means turn them down.
Okay, well, you did say something the other day about the wonder click that you think when you go, before you click, what would Grandmaster say or do or something? I thought that was kind of powerful. I had never thought about it that way.
Yep, that's what the wonder click stands for, is I wonder what a QiGong Grandmaster would do for me today.
Very interesting.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Yes. So I've been thinking about that every time before I click.
I love it. Yeah. There's some wonderful stories of, having people think about a certain idea for a certain goal, a certain thing I'd like to clear, and I'll be doggone hitting the wonder click, and then it happens. Okay. So it is. Energy is energy. We don't see it. We don't always understand it.
Okay, well, we all hope that we continue on this path.
Yeah, one day at a time. That's exactly right.
Well, I'll be quiet now for the rest of the session.
No, don't ever be quiet. This is what it's all about, really, for us all to do this. And this is quite a group, I think. Very powerful group of people that come in here.
Yes, I know. I can see when you all open your mouth and you say something, how experts you are and so forth, and I just stay nice and quiet so I can listen and learn.
No, you're one of them, Nydia. You are like a book on nutrition.
Well, that's about all I know.
Well, I don't have that knowledge, so listen, we all come in with what we have, what we're drawn to. Okay, here we are at 10 o'clock. I'm glad to see you all. This is a holiday week, so I didn't know if I'd have any people in here or not today. But let's get started. I was talking to Nydia before the call and saying that this wonder click is so powerful, even if you can just go in and put whoever's name in, your name, your loved ones, people who've requested situations, your home, your anything, clothes, etc., and hit your wonder click, you're already way ahead of the game. And I do a little bit more for the group and for clients. You may end up doing that too. Probably this group probably already does. But where we are today, let me just go ahead and see if I can enlarge this. You can see obviously stress, work-related issues, muscles comes up all the time, stomach, yin qua mai, spine, girdle meridian, large intestine. This deficiencies and weaknesses is an interesting category. Allergens, restrictions, and limitations. This is all extremely subtle. It's not like going to the doctor. So it's not as if you look at this and say, oh, I've got this wrong, I've got that wrong. For example, here, I'm ill. No, this is an imbalance in your etheric field, which is a system of frequency that they call the body's blueprint. So you're gathering the information. We see the spine is mentioned a lot. So, for example, if this were my scan, I would go in here for myself. Now, the browser is not psychic, but it will tell you your resonance. And typically what you resonate with is what you're going to bring into your reality. So you might go in and say priority or chi, because remember, that's the whole goal here. We're raising our voltage, which Chinese referred to as chi, session with chiropractor. And just see. Now, of course, this is for the whole group. It doesn't look like it would hurt because there does seem, and the spine is our switchboard. This infection theme all weekend, I kept sending charges to clear infection. And it's come up again today, you'll see in just a minute. So anyway, we're getting our information. There's that violence thing that came up again. So that almost could be related to a physical imbalance. And or we're picking up collective energy. It's lower this time than it was before. Let's go ahead and just avoidance. Okay. That spine again. Words to ponder in order to keep a true perspective of one's importance. Everyone should have a dog that will worship him and a cat that will ignore him. Rupert, I think Sheldrake is his name, is a scientist who did some really interesting studies with animals. He had equipment, this was all double-blind stuff, that could measure so much, and the animals see an additional field. Some humans can see the etheric field, but the animals can also see the morphic field. He said that was why animals, for example, always knew when you were coming home. They did all kinds of experiments. They had people drive different vehicles, go different routes, etc., etc. The animals always knew when they were coming home. But what was funny, he said, the cats know, they just don't care. So they don't necessarily make a fuss, but the dogs get pretty excited.
I have a rabbit like that.
Really? That's funny.
And every time I'd be coming home, my wife would tell me, "Oh yeah, he's heading for the front door." And then all of a sudden, when I walk in the door, he just runs circles around me.
Yeah, I didn't know rabbits had that kind of instincts. Here's self-harming, which could be our dietary. I'm going to make a guess. Maybe not. Let's copy that. Might be our words. Might be our thoughts. Self-reliance, receptive. We do have everything we need. Even the scientists can measure that information around us. We just need to have the level of chi to pull it in. Receptive, suffer uncertainty, and there's that spine again. And we're getting all this energy. A lot of this is just in reference to our awareness as well. And again, there are no negatives and no positives, but some of this stuff wakes us up. Defensive, inadequate. just going to put feeling inadequate. Because again, we know logically that isn't true just from the research out there. Even the power of one person. Where are we with that? Look at that. That's rather significant at this moment in time. Now, with the Pro Tools, we requested the recharger, and we got a few things we're going to work with. Let's just go in there, see what comes up. Just get an idea of the type of stress, the severity of it, based on how long we ask. $5 hours. Let's go ahead and just do a little clearing. Can't hurt. Liver, truth needs no flower of speech. Agreeable, surprised, all of this. Mortification, tantalizing, step back and observe. And we've got some mental resistance as well. Let's go down here. Yay, now that I got that. And I learned, I started making this list of charger scans mostly because we had certain things that there were many, many entries like infection, and so I wanted to know. Turned out I, could do some multitasking with this, and I kept working at the list. It's not complete, but it measures as a high priority for us to scan the whole list and see what we need that day. You see, for example, this infection stuff coming up again. Little depression, want a happy charge, acute pain, sinusitis, typhoid, Epstein-Barr, and then we can go on with others. I usually go up to about the 300 level, but let's just go in here, no sense to, you get the idea. But for example, now this is the day the Zoom is not letting me up there. Yeah, so it's not gonna let me do it unless I can. No, it's not gonna let me do it today. But you get the idea. I don't know why some days that is the case and other days not. The other two things we requested, we wanted the supercharger. So here is, we're working on digestion, negative imprints, and negative to positive. We'll do that with the supercharger. And then we want the field generator, and we're going to do break free, which is a thought. And we've got a better world. Let's just look at this. Nah, that's not such a high, even though it came up. We have an awareness, a better world. A little bit higher. Let's look at infused chi with purpose. Look at that, very low. So I'll have to, let me see what else we've got. Okay, this is what we want. Infused chi with purpose, 96. So let's go down here. just 8 minutes. I meant, and that might open the door to some of the others that came up a little higher. So with all that in mind and letting the Wonder Click do a lot of the work for us, and we got our chargers going, etc. We talked on Friday. You saw all that infection information, and we took a lot of energy over the weekend for infection. We also took a lot of energy over the weekend for spiritual issues. And I ended up putting in the Psalm 91 in the supercharger, and we wanted 24 hours. But a little bit also with the infections, there's a couple of things infections can charge. One is eating disorders. Doesn't look like it's the kind of eating disorders where you eat too much. So some of us have no excuse there. It's eating disorders such as anorexia, etc. Also, it seems that certain infections can spark obsessive compulsive disorder. So that's just a little information, just a little something to think about. But then also we were talking about the cells. And you know that we have our genetics, but there's something that turns the genetics off and on. And Bruce Lipton talks a lot about this. And the term is apparently epigenomes. And there are a few things. For example, let's see with the recharger, is there a priority for us to balance any of this energy? Let's look at it. Let's put the recharger in there because that's it. Nah, we've got it under control in that respect. Let's see what we've got next. There are also chemicals and various switches from our environment that can instruct the genes. Do we need any balancing there, or is our overall energy system pretty much taking care of that? Priority. G. Yeah, we'll take that one. Just 45 minutes. Wouldn't hurt to check in with that once in a while. And, you know, we have the good and the bad. The good and the bad with our wonderful life. I wouldn't want to be without my gadgets, but there is a little stress. So here's a code, clear non-beneficial stress related to high-tech modern life. And again, we're taking it up there to the 101, but it would not hurt to add this to the shin. And then getting back up here to the energy behind the energy, I'm reading an interesting book right now. I can't think of the name of it. I'll post it for those interested. It's on Scribe, talking about some of this energy. And these are the 10 tips. Eat plants and animals. Avoid, it's kind of funny, really offbeat, avoid poisonous things, move frequently, lift heavy things, sprint once in a while, get plenty of sleep, play, get plenty of sunlight, avoid stupid mistakes, and use your brain. And this brain information, I ended up over the weekend, I went off in a track I didn't plan to go in because of the Trevor Scott concert. Have any of you followed that? It's a little bit out of our age group to follow that kind of thing, but you guys know about the Trevor Scott?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, well, it was Now, whether or not he was an innocent and was just played by the music industry or not, it's not our place to make these decisions. But that concert appeared to have all the elements of a satanic ritual. I'm going to tell you what some of the symbols were. First and foremost, the stage was all fire. It had a number of vortexes. It had a number of eyeballs floating around. And it had the big hands with the eyeballs in the middle. I did a post about this if you want to catch up with it, which gives a little of this information. But that hand sign is from a movie that was about a monster who ate children. So that, and it was modeled after the ancient Saturn cult, which did child sacrifice. What's his name? Scott's outfit was one of little blue people running through some kind of a portal to come out with little red people with horns. There were images of Moloch. Moloch was a god they sacrificed their children to so they could have power. And again, ancient traditions, we don't know that this goes on anymore. But that was the cover of Travis Scott's new album, was his own head with a wide open mouth like the symbol of Moloch. These are things we don't know because we just can't believe it exists. And there is something for us to be aware of, and the pain of what happened to these people. The other irony, again, it's in the post. This was the first, this joined up with what I like to call the hokey pokey being now legalized for ages 5 to 11. And in the early reports, you don't know what to believe anymore because you just don't. If you're not there, you don't. But the early reports from both eyewitnesses and also if you listen to your local news, not the national or world, the local news in the beginning, you often hear what is really going on. And both eyewitnesses and local news said many of these people were having heart attacks. So it's just something to think about. What happened though, and this is the way it works, there's always a solution. What has happened is many young people's eyes have been opened. They were so traumatized by being at this event. And again, it may not be, Travis Scott is doing what the music industry sets up for him. And they are so traumatized, they said, we're going to re-examine our taste in music. We know that the images, Joanna and I were talking before the 10 o'clock time, images and music are so powerful for programming. And they were really getting hit with the energy. Of course, there are other factors. It was the first, a lot of them had been out since COVID. There are many things. So, but it's a real interesting thing, the symbolism. And it's not just in his stuff. It's in much of our media. And we may want to start being aware of that and tuning it out, not participating. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Any thoughts?
I've also heard that they were running an experiment, what should I say, flashing 5G at that crowd.
Yes.
We thought it would be an opportunity to see the effect of 5G on those who have been vaccinated.
Yes, I read that also. And again, what I do know is that the security guards were told when they went in, because some of them came out and spoke, that they were told their phones weren't going to work. So something was going on with frequency. Something was going on. What is hard to say. I did find a code. I've still got it on the other computer. I'll get it in for this to shield us from a little of that. And again, what does it hurt? Frankly, as a group, I have that going on the other computer. The group didn't really need that code. It didn't seem to be significant. But at the concert, that could have been another stress. This could have been quite an experiment. You know, another symbol of the Saturn form of worship, which you can take a few letters out of that to tell you what it is a black cube. And I don't remember the significance. We know Saturn has a bunch of rings about it, but in those rings, there apparently is a three-dimensional cube. And that was the other thing. I'm not sure where this was, whether it was at the entrance to Astrodome or where, but was a big statue of Travis Scott coming out of the black cube. Also, if you really want to buy into some paranoia, Travis Scott was being featured to this young age group in the form of Happy Meals. So there were Travis Scott Happy Meals. I think he's going to lose a lot of these endorsements now. And what I read, but I have no way to know because I don't go to McDonald's, is that these Happy Meals were in the shape of a cube, a black cube. I do not know these things. But we know that symbols, because really in the matrix with all the codes, they say it really is all about symbols. That's why the light therapy, we can do some wonderful work with the light therapy to bring in some patterns or clear some patterns. Anything else?
Just to add one thing to the idea of the black cube, I've heard that that's also related to black goo, which is
oh, okay. I've heard of the black goo, and that's all. I don't know much about that. You know, it's a matter, we have to be aware. It's like the old thing I always say about you see the truck coming, so you don't step in front of it. But you don't worry about trucks. It can't hurt you. I think it's very similar here. We have to have an awareness of this type of thing. And we have to take precautions at times. Let's look in here. Getting back up to the rest of this stuff, for sure, we want to keep working on healthy habits. I know I'm not doing so hot on that over the weekend. So I baked cookies, had me a few cookies, so we could amp that up a little.
You know, you can bake cookies and bake them in such a way or put in ingredients that make them, actually positive.
Yeah, I did add a bunch of pecans.
And you can also, instead of using sugar, you can substitute other things like, what they call it, monk food, which is very sweet. But
I love monk, yes. Mm-hmm. Well, what got me here at Publix, they had BOGO, and they had these cookie mixes.
Oh, I see.
And I did a post years ago, and it was called "The Devil Does BOGO," because you see that stuff, and you're like, well, so, and it hit the spot. But I mean,
Cathy?
Yeah.
That's like last night we went to Costco, and they're famous for their gigantic pumpkin pies, and I mean they must. Oh God, I'm telling you, they must have had 1,000 of them spread out throughout the store. It was cruel and unusual punishment.
Did you get one?
Yes.
Well, it only comes around once a year, so you might as well.
Exactly. That's what we thought. I'm just trying to think of some kind of fairy dust we can put over it to make it not quite so bad.
We're meant to have joy. And
yes, exactly.
But I know I felt very guilty myself. But it's a work in progress. It's an absolute work in progress.
Yeah, and sometimes you just have to do it. I mean,
got it. Yeah, I agree.
I know you don't eat cookies very often. We rarely buy a pie, so you know what? We're just going to enjoy it.
You got it. You got it.
Oh, it's actually, if you're going to eat it and buy it and eat it, then you never feel guilty about it.
That's right.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Nydia. Now I feel better.
You can go into your sustenance balancer or your super clear if you have those tools, or your P4 can do a lot of this too. And I think that we're gonna some of these things are wonderful treats, etc. And sometimes it relieves a little stress.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a couple of other things, talking about what Elizabeth mentioned with the 5G and all, if that was even possible. There's a couple of other things, and I've got these codes on the other computer. I'll send them over to this one before I send the note out. But the 60 gigahertz, which now they're advertising so joyfully for the 5G, are you aware that 40 years ago that was developed as a frequency weapon?
As what?
A frequency weapon.
Yes, yes, I am aware of that.
So we have a code over there. I'll send it here for this. It's going on the other computer for us. But also, they did many years ago demonstrations on film of how they could use the frequency to affect. They did it with bulls, so that the bulls wouldn't attack, and they did it with monkeys. So I don't guess it's a far thought that perhaps, and what I've read, and we don't know what's true and what isn't, is that this kind of thing may be going on. Let's just put for the group, stress-related frequency warfare.
I've read that the symptoms related to COVID are all 5G symptoms.
That Thomas Cohen, an MD, has a book on that, and the reason he caught my attention is Amazon immediately banned it. But you can find it, I hope, still on Scribe, and he talks about that. That's exactly right. Now here, is it good for, could any of this program our DNA? Well, let's just go in here. Priority, clear, non-beneficial DNA programming. No, not really. See, a lot of this, we read about it. It may not be something that's actually happening. Genes and chromosomes carry sufficient instructions for all activities within the body. That's not a bad code. Let's just go ahead and see where we are with that. We want to focus on the positive.
I like to use the yes therapy to transmute negative energies, because every energy is just, in its most simple form, it's neutral.
It's information, that's right.
Yeah, so we can transmute it and turn it into something positive.
You got it. Thank you. That's exactly right. That yes therapy is amazing, and we don't have to even use the SRC. We can just say it. It's wonderful.
I love it.
Yes. Now you see we're a little bit low on this. Genes and chromosomes carry sufficient instructions. So what you can do, go in here, see if you'd like to, if there's a high benefit, 70 or higher, to just put it in the shin. Nope. How about a charge? Nope. And I've been in checking the 3 times, 6 times, or 9 times. Not really, so let's go into the light therapy, which we also requested today. I don't know if that copied or not. I think it did. Just not sure. Let's do that one more time. Sometimes it's hard to see with this. 23 hours. We'll take it. And so that's some thought for today on what we've got going on. And I'll do these things from the field generator that you're aware of. So any other thoughts?
None here. Thank you.
Ah, that was wonderful. Thank you, Cathy.
Always. I'm glad.
And Cathy, the computer I have is Grandmaster's computer that recommended. It's a Lenovo
I love
Yoga.
Grandmasters, but he doesn't have any more.
Oh, but I mean, so I got his same kind, which is a Lenovo Yoga, just so you know.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure it's upgraded even since I bought it, because I think I've had it a year.
And say that one more time.
Lenovo Yoga.
How do you spell it?
Lenova, and then the word yoga.
It's Lenovo. Lenovo.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, sweetie.
Would you mind saying that again?
It's Lenovo. Did I say that right now? Lenovo. Yoga. YOG.
Yoga is just one of the models of Lenovo.
Exactly, and that's the one that Grandmaster has.
Thank you. I'll send that out so everybody else has it.
Thank you.
You already have it there. I see it.
That's what I mean. I've got it in our list, so when I'll email it out. Yeah.
And Kevin can help you too with this.
Yes.
I mean, what to choose.
You guys.
Well, he's the one that helped me with that decision.
Good.
Okay.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay. Well, y'all have a good one, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. You have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, Cathy.
This concludes our Zoom call for November 22nd, 2021. Thank you for attending. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, take care and be